What's up, soldiers? Here's how to press a sandbag. So when we're doing this, these principles apply to all odd object presses, whether that is stones, sandbags, or kegs. So always try to draw those parallels to how you can learn one movement and apply it to others successfully. So when we're doing a sandbag press, the most important thing that you want to do is get in a position to where you're using your chest and your triceps in the press and not just your shoulders. So what that means is once we clean it to our rack position to the top of our chest, we're going to want to use this old school weightlifting lean back technique where we're getting under the weight and not just pressing out in front of us. So we're going to want a little bit of a slight lean back. Make sure we stay vertical. This is very akin to a log press here with the log sitting out in front of us. Dip, press out in front of us. Because what's going to happen, especially the bigger these bags get, is that you won't really be able to get a full arm and tricep lockout. So we need as much big muscle groups as we can to maintain stability, which will happen with that little bit of a lean back this way. So there's really kind of two general sizes. We have our rounder, I'm going with like a puck shaped bag for this demo, but we also have the wide one. So I'm just going to kind of show you what each of these are going to look like. But let's use our proper fundamentals for picking up a sandbag. That's drawing a line through the balls of your feet and the center of the object. We're going to use a hinge to pick it up, lap, and then let's be sure that we use a really good, powerful extension so that we can extend up big and then get our hands under and slightly to the outside of it. You do want to have it a little bit to the outside of the bag with your grip and not just directly under, because if the weight shifts at all when your hands are directly square under, it's going to be very likely for it to dip to the side, or you're just going to have a harder time fighting it. So it's important to get this timing of to the lap, clean up, and catch here. But as you can notice, I'm already in this little bit of a lean back position. So if we do this correctly, you're going to have some real estate and some space on your chest to get under it and not just like catch it in the air with those hands. So when we're doing this with this puck or rounder shaped bag here, now with that, we want to make sure that we're not bringing our head forward too quickly. Because what happens if we do that is our whole weight shifts forward. So we're talking about this alignment principle here, but if I start bringing my head forward, everything comes forward with me, the weight of the bag, my arms, my torso, and it's gonna be much, much harder to lock that out. So have patience to keep your head back, stay under it until your arms lock out, and then you always have to look at your judge in the face to get a down command. So try to do your best to just bring your head down instead of head bobbing forward, right? So that looks like this here, instead of poking your nose forward. Now, some judges may be pretty strict and ask you to straighten out a little bit more, but chances are, if you get a good arm lockout and you just bring your head and eyes down to look at your judge, it's like 99% likely they're going to give you a down call. So try not to overextend so you're bringing all your weight forward. Got to avoid that. Now, when we're doing bigger bags, the technique is the same. We're just doing a different shape. So as always, good fundamentals. You're going to have to do it wide instead of long. I know a lot of people who are shouldering or carrying will go this long ways of picking up, but in order to get a good press position, this one, we just got to go wide. So you need to practice that if you're not familiar with it. So as close as possible, line through the balls of your feet, center of the object. If you're a little shorter person to the size of the bag, you might need to come slightly behind it, which is going to cause you to go into more of a deep hinge, but do the best that you can with it. So here, again, roll up. Once we get to our lap, big roll up and back, get those hands under. Press, head through is the last thing that we're doing. So, lap, roll up. And through. Now, Usually you're gonna be able to use kind of a strict press on this because the weight of the bags is not like outrageous. It's the shape that makes it more of a difficult press than anything else. But it is to your advantage if you can use a push press comfortably. So we just wanna get in that same position that we just demoed here. Make sure that we're dropping vertically with our knees out, not shifting forward and then pressing up. So just to show you one of those here. And that's using a push press. So some people who are really skilled at this can do jerks. I don't really recommend that unless you are very, very, very practiced at that, but this is how to press a sandbag. For more demos on strongman training and how to lift all the odd objects, check out my free private community at clubstrongman.com.